Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapbookingwithME.com and Me Crafty Scrapper here on YouTube and Instagram. Today I wanted to show you the E-Club kit for this month, October, and then show you what I am making with it. You always get one of these great mesh bags, if I can pick everything up, with your E-Club kit, and it is waterproof and it holds a lot. So even when you are finished with your kit, you can keep that and use it for other things, storage, all kinds of stuff. All right, you get some chocolate covered, I'm hungry, chocolate colored seam binding, some chocolate seam binding, and then you get a gold, this is a Marvy pen, so a gel pen. Now, there was probably a few of the kits because our Marvy manufacturer didn't send us enough of these, so there were a few of the kits that got a different brand of gold gel pen, but everybody got a gold gel pen. You get a whole pack, not just a few die cuts, a whole pack of die cuts. And this is the Simple Stories Vintage Country Harvest collection. And then 2 pieces of cardstock, basil cardstock, 1 orange and 1 brown. Some may have gotten a yellow, but I think most everybody got orange and brown. You get the entire 12 by 12 cut apart sheet of cardstock stickers. So we had to cut them apart. This was a definite labor of love. We had to cut them apart because they wouldn't fit in the box as the 12 by 12. So we had to cut them, and that's why that sheet is cut like that. Then you have the 6 by 8 Simple Stories Vintage Country Harvest. All of these beautiful papers, and they have some of the prettiest cut aparts. And then it has some beautiful teals and some polka dots. So this is some of the prettiest paper ever. I love this collection. When I saw it back in August, I said, let's go ahead and order October's kit so we can get it. It is gorgeous paper. Look at that, how pretty. Love that little truck. And then it starts the patterns over again, and this little, look at that wood grain, and then this page, look at that, love it. And then look at this page that has all of the newsprint on it, and trees and apples and leaves. Love that. Okay, so there is the paper pad, and there's 24 double-sided papers in that. You get a half pack of the enamel dots that go along with the collection. You get a sleeve of dots, glue dots. So there are, let's say, 12 of those. I know that you cannot see those very well, but you get 1 sheet of glue dots, and you also get 2 yards of hemp twine, and this is the real thin, like I'm out of, so I love that. I love that we got that. And then you also get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 well-tail punch outs in a beautiful craft that goes right along with the kit. So that is the October E-Club kit, and I am going to make something very simple. And really, I think the only thing I will have to add to are my little pages that I put inside of it. So first off, I'm going to put my big sticker sheet off to the side and my die cuts off to the side, and all of my little decorating stuff over here. And we're going to start out with the paper pad and the 2 pieces of cardstock that you get in the kit. And I am going to cut my little branding strips off of these. So I'm just going to put them down here, cut off that branding strip on the orange one, and then cut off the branding strip of my brown one. And I want to keep them as close to 8.5 by 11 as possible because I want them as covers for what we're about to make. I'm going to start with my orange one. I might, if we have time, we might make the brown one also. This might be so easy that we get to make 2 of them, but we shall see. All right, I'm just going to fold it in half and get my bone folder. Fold that in half. And that is going to be my cover. Okay. And then I had already picked out which one of these I wanted to be the front of this. And it is this beautiful piece right here. And I want y'all to look at how pretty that is going to be. Now, I'm going to cut mine down just a touch on the sides. I might lose one of my butterflies though. I hate that. I don't want to lose my butterfly. I don't really have a choice, so I'm just going to have to lose it. All right, I've made my mark, so I'm going to cut my paper. This is 6 by 8 paper. This is a little bigger than 5.5. So, yep, I'm going to cut mine at 5. Yep, to make it look right on all the sides, I cut my piece down. So this is 5 by 8. So I cut a whole inch off of my papers that come out of this. All right, I am going to round my corners, and I'm doing that with the 1/4 inch round, and then I'm going to go ahead and round all the corners on this, and then I will do some inking around the edges of this paper also. Okay, yep, I like that. Pretty, just very simple, but it works very well. So I'm just going to use some double-sided tape for this. And I'm thinking maybe I will get out a couple of die cuts and use those glue dots so I can have them popped up just a little bit on the front. And I might, maybe there's another butterfly or something in that die cut pack. Okay, I'm going to center that up. Okay, and there is my cover so far. All right, on the inside, regular cardstock. This is not copy paper. This is cardstock, and this is the 110-pound cardstock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down just a smidge so that it will fit well inside of this. And then we're going to put some of this pattern paper on the inside covers too and on the back, because this cardstock that we send you, it's not like heavyweight. It's kind of medium weight cardstock. So we want to make this sturdy since it's going to be a cover. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of cardstock to go on the inside. I've cut my cardstock down to 10 inches by 8 1/4 inches. So 8 1/4 by 10. So cut your 8.5 by 11 cardstock that you put on the inside down to 8 1/4 by 10. Okay, I have all 4 sheets of my cardstock cut down to 8 1/4 by 10. And then I'm going to round all of my corners. I went ahead and folded them also to make them look like pages. So all corners are going to get rounded. Then I'm going to get my pieces of white cardstock and I'm going to sandwich them all together just like I'm making a signature for a junk journal. Okay, and then some of them in the middle are going to be sticking out a little bit further because it is cardstock, so it's not going to lay perfect. But it is fine. It's not sticking out too far. Then I'm going to put them in the center. I'm going to center that up on the top and bottom. And then fan it out to the middle. Make sure all of them are where I want them. Centered. Okay, and then I'm going to get my big paper clips. And I'm going to do something a little different because since this is cardstock and it's going to take a lot of effort to sew this in, I am going to use a handy dandy stapler. And I'm going to staple my spine. Wish me luck getting this done, but I think we are going to be just fine. I've got them lined up how I want them. They're all lined up really well right there. And I'm going to, I've got a piece of foam here. I'm going to lay this down. My paper clips are my paper clips are holding that in. I've just got a regular standard stapler. I'm going to come down here to the bottom, try to get it right in the middle, and staple through there. Got a little bit of oil from my brand new stapler. I'm going to get my bone folder. That oil got on the back of it, but I think we'll be all right. And then I'm using my bone folder to push those staples over. I don't like that at all. Let me wipe that off. Which, of course, we need oil in it to keep it from locking up or getting rusty and all that stuff. But I don't like it getting on my cardstock. That is right down the middle in the paper, but off just a little bit on the spine. And I'm okay with that. As long as it's in the middle of my paper, that's where I need it. So my pages will turn good. Now, yes, if you want to sew through this, be my guest. Sew through it. Do it. Do it to it. I don't want to. So I'm stapling mine, and I'm just going to run down. I'm going to do one here, and then I'm going to do one in the middle. Get back on my foam. And yes, you can cover up your staples if you want to. Okay, so we've already made a little book, and I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of this beautiful paper on the inside cover here. And I really like that butterfly paper. So I'm going to add this in here, and I need to cut this down an inch. So I'm going to cut an inch off of the edge. And round, I think I'll just round all of my corners. Okay. Then our back cover, what do we want to put on it? I have that paper on the front, that paper on the back cover, and then for my pages, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to put these papers on my pages, and I'm going to cut them down to 4 3/4, and then I'm leaving the height. So I'm going to make this first page this one. So I'm going to leave the height like it is. I'm going to cut it down to 4 3/4. Beautiful. And I'm going to round my corners. Ink my edges. And then I'm going to center these up on each of my pages. Okay, so like that. And then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to put pockets. I'm going to put pockets on the inside covers. I'm going to put pockets on each of my pages. So I'm going to go through every one of my cardstock pages. I'm going to cover with this paper, and I'm going to put pockets on every one of them. If you're making this along with me, pause the video and go ahead and cover all of your pages. Cut your pattern paper down to 4 1/4 by 8. Go through and cover all of your pages. Okay, and then I will be back and we'll show you all of them that I covered, and then we'll start on making our pockets. Then for the back, I think I'm going to use some of my strips that I cut off of all of the pieces that went on the pages. I'm just cutting, not cutting, I'm going to use these cuttings from those pattern papers, and I'm going to cover my back cover. And I think I will round the corners of these two right here, just on the edges, and then ink these all up. Yep. I'm going to start on this edge, the outside edge closest to the spine. There is my back cover with the little strips on it. I like how that turned out. Okay, so I told you that I would show you each of my pages and the papers that I picked out. So there is first and second, well, cover and first, and then there are the next ones. I love how this has turned out so far. I love these patterns, and the colors in this collection are just beautiful. Now we are going to make this easy peasy, very, very simple. I remind myself that I have been with 20 first graders for 3 days now. I've been subbing for the same teacher who is in some workshops and trainings this week, and then I will be with them again on Monday. And And I forget how little energy that I actually have after being with 20 first graders for 3 days. Then I'm going to use my guillotine trimmer, and I am going to cut some pockets out of the brown piece of cardstock that we got in the kit. And I'm going to cut on the long side at 4 3/4. And then again. And then I am cutting the 2 pieces that are 4 3/4. I'm cutting them at 2 1/2. And that gives me 6 pockets. So I'm going to go ahead and place these on the pages that I want, and then I'll cut some more paper and make more pockets. So I've got 6 2 1/2 inch by 4 3/4 inch, and so I'm going to put myself some little notches at the top of each one, and then I'm going to glue these in. I'm going to round the corners, the bottom corners, and see what that looks like. Yeah, I like that. So let's just round the bottoms of all of these. I'm going to pick and choose which ones of these, which 6 pages are going to get these pockets. And then I will go in with some of the leftover papers, which I don't have that many of them, but I'm going to go in with the leftover papers and make some of these same pockets. So I won't be putting these pockets like 2 to a page. I will skip over and, you know, I'll pick and choose which ones get these little brown pockets. And I have my little brown pockets in here, and they will hold a significant amount of things. I love the little contrast in color. So I've got those in there, and now I am going to cut a few pieces of this cardstock that's left. And I'm not going to cut into these 2 cut aparts because I want to use these as some decoration. So I'm going to put those aside. And then I have just, let's see here, 1 2 3 pieces left. I would like to save one of these, so I'll put this aside. So I'm going to cut them the exact same size. So 4 3/4 by 2 1/2. Some of the pages I have made little tucks instead of the pocket, and I will show you how I made those. The little strips that we had left over from where we cut the papers down to go on each piece of cardstock, that is the piece that I'm using on the edge for the tuck, and I am rounding the outside corners with my 1/4 inch corner rounder. And then for the notch in the middle, see the notch there, for that notch I'm using my envelope punch board and going to the 4-inch mark and punching there, and that gives me my little thumb hold or grip or whatever when I'm pulling something out of that tuck. So I rounded those corners so that they would line up with the papers on the edge. Now you could round both corners if you wanted to on both edges, but I like how it lines up really good with that paper. So then I just inked around the edges, and I used some 1/8 inch score tape on my 3 sides of the tucks and adhered those in. And then 1/8 inch score tape on all the 3 sides and not the side that has the notch out on it. Then I line it up with my design paper, my pattern paper that's already on my page. And then there is my page tuck that we can add all sorts of little things into. You can add a picture there, tags, ephemera, whatever you would like to add into those little tucks. I love those. So I've added those on to some of the pages. So we have a tuck here on this front page. We have regular pockets, then tuck, regular pocket, 2 regular pockets again, tuck and a pocket, and then just reversed it on here, pocket here, tuck here, 2 pockets there, 2 pockets there, and a pocket on the back. Now for the covers, I want to do this because we are out of paper in our pad that came in the kit. If I were to have used 1 less page of cardstock, we would have had enough paper to just make pockets for these. But I think this is even more creative because we do have more pockets on the inside of our little pocket and tag journal to add even more goodies and photos and things like that. So now we are going to have to get really creative to make the pockets for the inside covers. And what I'm doing, I have a piece of white cardstock just like we used on the pages. And I am going to get these 4 strips that we just cut off of our pattern papers that we put on the pages. This is just scraps. We are going to ink each one of these. And then we're going to trim it out. It'll be 5 inches wide. That's how wide this paper is. Remember, we cut 1 inch off on that paper and that paper. So we need this to be 5 inches, and it is. It's just a touch over 5 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and ink around all of these edges and then glue it down to this cardstock, and then we'll trim that out. I will just use some liquid glue, and I'm going to just glue these strips down to this white cardstock all the way to the edge so you don't see the edge of the cardstock, and line it up how I want it as far as my patterns go. And we're going to make a little patchwork, well, 2 little patchwork pockets for our front and back covers. Now I'm going to use my trimmer. I'm just going to cut off the top of that. We can put that in our little scrap pile and use later for something. And then trim off this edge here. Okay, and then let's see, I'm going to cut it in half. It's 8 inches tall, So I'm going to cut at the 4-inch mark to get 2 tall pockets. And I can see a little bit of the white on top from that cardstock. So I'm just going to barely get a little trim in on that. Use my scissors for the very edge of that because it didn't cut. And then do I have that same? Nope, I don't have it on the bottom of this one, so I'm good with that. And then using that one piece of scrap, let me move this so I can get it set down. You've got the tree on one pocket, and then you've got the nice little leaves and the hello on the other pocket. And I have inked around everything again on these, and I'm going to do my little notch at the top. I'm going to do it with my envelope punch like I did on the tucks. Yep, I'm going to line them up right at the 3.5 mark and do my notch. So that works pretty perfect right in the middle of that strip of paper. And then I will ink that notch and the top really well. Okay, so I'm really loving these patchwork pockets. That is pretty. I like that. Okay, so, I mean, I know it's pattern on pattern. If you're not in love with that, of course, you could use just some regular cardstock as your front pockets. So these pockets are 5 inches wide by 4 inches tall. So they're 4 inches tall by 5 inches wide. So easy, easy measurements. That is my kind of measuring right there. All right, I'm using 1/8 inch score tape on my edges. And I'm just getting right up against the edges too. As close as I can get. And then right up against the edge at the bottom. And then line your paper up, or your pocket, line your pocket up with the paper that's behind it. Okay, so that gives you a nice pocket for multiple things there. And I'm going to go do the same thing back here and adhere this one on to this back cover. The tabs that you got, the whale-tail punch-outs that you got in your kit, I am going to use those on the tops of my tags. So I've got these little tags cut, and I have inked around the edges, and I'm going to use my tabs, my little whale tail tabs at the tops of those. So some of my tags, now you know you only got 10, so some of my tags will have those little pulls at the top like so. And then some of my tags will have the seam binding at the top, and then I might even do some of the hemp twine at the tops of them. So I've got those pieces cut. I just had some craft cardstock in my stash and cut out some 3x6 tags, and then on the other side of that 8.5 by 11 sheet, whatever was left over, I cut some more tags out of those. So I have some short tags, some long tags, and then I have some little skinny pieces left over here that I might use in there also. And I'm going to decorate these with the stickers and die cuts that come in the kit. And a couple of the pockets, I'm going to use these Glassine bags, and I'm going to ink them and add some die cuts and stickers to these and decorate them up. And then they will be a pocket inside of a pocket, and we can add ephemera, loose ephemera and things like that in here. I went ahead and cut apart all of the cut apart sheets that I had left in my paper pad. And these are the little 3x4 cards. It is 3x4, isn't it? Let's see. These are, yes, 3x4, yes. So the little 3x4 cards, and we can use those in our pockets also, along with the tags. And then I'm going to use some of the enamel dots on maybe some of the tags on my front cover. I'll add some die cuts to the front cover also. Let's go ahead and make up this little tag here. Look, I just love how this stands up. Look how that stands up very well. It's very nice and secure. If you want to cover up your staples on the edge, you can. You could put a piece of lace. You could add your seam binding onto the edge. Adhere that really well with some fabric glue of some kind if you wanted to. I'm thinking I'm pretty good with that. I'm just going to leave it as is. Let's put these little things together. Let me show you how I'm going to decorate up these little tags. This is a clean and simple project, so these tags to me are screaming that they need some ink splatters done to them, but I'm going to hold off on doing that because this is such a clean and simple project. I don't want to get it too messy busy. So like doing a tag like this, and maybe putting one of your little die cuts at the bottom of it. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. That's very pretty. Let's do that. Ink the edges of our die cut. And then you could use a regular pen, Sharpie, whatever, or you could use a white gel pen to write on these tags, or you could add pictures to them. And when you're adding your die cuts, you can add them all the way down like I have right here, or you can add them to the side just on the edge and use it as a tuck. So if you wanted to add something else like a picture onto the tag, you could. And then this is one of our little stickers here from the sticker sheet that you got in your kit. Just inking around the edges of it and adding it there for one of our little tags. And you could, since the decoration is at the bottom, you could use this one in a tuck like that. I really like that. Cute. When you are adding tags to these pockets, you could add the decoration at the top. So when you add them into the pocket, you will be able to see them better, see the decoration better. So let's do one like that. So I'm just using my angle corner punch or chomper from We Are Memory Keepers. And I'm going to ink the edges. And then fold over my little whale-tail punch-out. Ink both sides, both edges of that. Add it to the top. And then we can pick a little die cut and dirty it up just a little bit just to get all that white off of it. And we could add that die cut there. I like that. And add it to the top, and then add it to your pocket, and then so you can see the top of your tag and your decoration that you added to the tag. You could add wording to the top here of your tab if you wanted to. Let's add this one. Oh, that one is really matchy-matchy, but I like that. Just adding that one to that page. Very pretty. Goes right along with it. Alright, for these little glassine bags, these are the small size that we have in the shop. So if you're looking for glassine bags, we have small, medium, and large in the shop. And I'm using my oxide ink to ink around the edges. I've used that same vintage photo oxide ink throughout the whole journal. So, but the oxide seems to stay a little better for me when I'm working with a glossy surface like this glassine bag. And I'm just going to ink a little bit on that front flap there. Okay, and then like a plain background like this, or a background that you really want seen like this one. I love that, and I don't really want to put a tag in there and cover up any of that. So I was thinking if I added a glassine bag, see, you can still see all of that prettiness back behind it. It kind of ghosts that glassine bag, and just slip it down into your pocket. See, I love that. I love being able to have multiple uses for things like glassine bags. I love how that looks. And then you could add a little die cut there. I think I will go ahead and do that. Ink the edges of it and then kind of dirty it up a little bit. And then I think I will just use some double-sided tape on the back of this. I'm not a fan of how liquid glue does on glassine. So I think I'll just add that there. I like that. Let's pull it down just a little bit. There, that's better. So, and then when you have your glassine bag empty, you can still see the prettiness that is behind that. I love the glassine bag. That's just too pretty. All right, let's add just a couple of strips of cardstock and then that down in there. I really like how that looks. Pretty. Okay, so that's how I'm using the glassine bags. I have one more with me right now. I just didn't pick up enough when I was at the shop the other day. And I've used the other ones for other things. And then in the other little pockets, if you wanted to, and you didn't want to make too many more tags, you could just put in some of your 3x4 cards as decoration, or you could turn them on the back and put on some copy paper or some coffee dyed paper, something like that, on the back of it, and just use it down in your pockets like this. Like that, easy. And of course, decorating your pockets too. So you've got that huge sticker sheet that you can add things from it to your pockets. So right in the middle, or to the side, or to the bottom. I'm thinking I like that one right in the middle there. I like that. Fall is my favorite. That is truth right there. And then even to your front pockets, if you wanted to, you could add some type of die cut or something. I don't really want to cover up that much of my pockets, but I do like how that looks. So I'm going to add that little butterfly to that front pocket there and dirty it up just a little bit. And I'm only going to, oh, I know what I'm going to do. The little glue dots that you got in your kit, you just peel back, and I'm going to add 2 to this little butterfly. There's one. And then add the other. And I'm just adding them to the middle so that when you open up this little journal, you can pull up on its little wings if you want to. Give that pocket some dimension. That is pretty. I love how that turned out. And you just added one little die cut. So there's some decoration ideas for your pockets, and go through and add the stickers to your little pockets, and even the tucks if you wanted to. If you've got a little small die cut of some kind. Let's see here. Oh, this little pumpkin. That's cute. Just added to the bottom of your tuck there. Cute little sticker off of your sticker sheet, your enormously huge sticker sheet that you got in the kit this month. So I have lots and lots of pockets to decorate, add some die cuts to, add tags to, and I will come back and show you at the end the complete flip through. I love being able to get all of this into one video to show you, and be able to show you the complete flip through at the end too. Love that. Okay, so on the front, and I think I'm going to use these die cuts. So I have this one here, and it'll hang over a little bit, and then this little butterfly, and this Nature Splendor die cut there with a little heart on top of it. I'm going to ink those, and I'm going to put them on with the glue dots that came in the kit. And then I'm going to finish up my tags, finish up my little decorating with die cuts, and then I'll come back and show you the completed journal. So here it is, finished product, and I wanted to show you what I had left. A little piece of seam bindings left. I have quite a bit of the twine left, even though I used a lot of it in there. I have 3 of my little tabs left. I just used 3 of these, and then I have a few strips of the pattern papers left. That is it on pattern paper except this piece, and I have an idea to use this piece on something else. That's all the die cuts I have left, and then I still have quite a few stickers left. So there's what I had left out of the kit. I used all of my glue dots. The paper pad piece itself is gone. It was used up. So this is what I came up with. And I have step-by-step processed you through this, the assembly of this, and then now this is the final flip through of all the decorating and everything. So there is the 3 little epoxy dots or enamel dots that I used on the front here with those die cuts, and I just love that cover. Get up a little closer, and I will have some still shots at the end of a few things, not every page because that just takes forever. I have to edit every one of the pictures and all of that stuff, so I'm not going to have a still shot of everything, but I will have a still of the outside, maybe how it stands up, how pretty that is. I just love that. And a couple of my favorite page layouts that I come up with. So here is our little patchwork pocket there on the front with our die cut, little tag there with the pull on top. And throughout I have added little pieces to the tops of the tabs here, but not on everything. I didn't want it to be too matchy-matchy, even though this kit was very matchy-matchy this month, and I was afraid some might not like that, but we are getting a really good response from the kit, so I think we're okay. In this tuck, I just have 2 of the 3x4 card cut-aparts in that, and just put in a little willy-nilly so it's not too uniform in that little tuck, and then a sticker heart added there. The next page has 2 more of the 3x4 cards, and then a little sticker decoration at the bottom there, and then I put one of the die cuts there, adhered it up top. This is another die cut. I love that little truck. Added that one there. And this tag, very plain, but I like that. And it's got some of our seam binding at the top. I added it on with the Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher and added a sticker to the edge of that. So plain there, but I like that. I like sometimes just being clean and simple and not having to add a bunch of stuff to something. Okay, so the next page, I didn't want to add too much here to cover that up because I really loved that paper. So I just added one of the little tags from the die cut pack on into that tuck, and you saw me put on that little sticker. And then you saw me make this little tag, and I have added that onto the pocket there. There's so much more you could add to pockets if you wanted to as far as decorations go. This one added some hearts to the tab and to the tag itself, and added that to the pocket there. And then you saw me do this little glassine bag here and add it to this pocket, and then I just added another little die cut piece there. And then to this page, I had that tuck. I added a little die cut there. And this tag is pretty much covered on the front, but then of course you turn it over and you've got plenty of writing space there. Plenty of room to add a picture or whatever, even to the back of this if you wanted to. Another one of the 3x4 cards in that pocket, and then another little slim tag added there with some more seam binding that I just kind of crinkled up and then added on with my Tim Holtz tiny attacher. I love to stagger things in pockets like that. I think it just gives it a little bit more interest. Love that. In this pocket, I added another tag and put on a die cut here. Just kind of break up that polka dot. Added that sticker and that little die cut there, and to the top of this tag added some of the twine, and then just popped it on with the Tim Holtz tiny attacher there also. And then in this tuck added a butterfly sticker, a fall fun sticker, and then you saw me make that tag also, and just added a heart there to the top of that. And this one added 2 more 3x4 cards. And then to this was one of the die cuts there. Another die cut on that one, pumpkin spice. And then to this one, I tied a bow with the twine, and then tied a really good knot in the middle and popped it on with the Tim Holtz tiny attacher as well, and put on a die cut and a sticker onto that tag. So nice and simple, but still pretty. And then these 2 pages, I added a die cut and some of the twine to the top of that tag. And then there's my other glassine bag with a sticker on it and some die cuts and little stray pieces from the pattern papers in there also. And then this one has 2 tags. They're slim, so I just went ahead and added 2 of them. Seam binding with my tiny attacher, die cut and a sticker, die cut and a sticker with another die cut heart there at the top. And then to decorate this pocket, die cut, and a sticker, and everything is inked. And then here I added a die cut just to kind of break up that plain wood grain look to the back of that pocket, and then a 3x4 card in the pocket, a little color of fall die cut, and one of the little stamp die cuts. I thought those were very cute. And then I added a die cut to this patchwork pocket here, and then there is that tag for the back. And there is still plenty of room to add photos, journaling, even more journaling cards into this. This come out very, very cute in my opinion. I really, really like this journal, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to let go of this one because it is so cute, and it was so simple to put together too. I love how simply this came together. I love kits and how kits help us to make pretty creative things without a lot of brain work. That helps me so much. Now, if you wanted to make some kind of closure, you could do a nice little belly band if you wanted to, or you could just use you know, things that you have left over. I would need, of course, more seam binding than this, but just a nice piece of seam binding tied around it, and just tied really well, and then you could slide it on and off like I do my ephemera holder book here, or journal, or whatever you call it. I have this lace that has a little bit of stretch to it, and I just permanently double tied that, and then it just slides on and off, and that's how I use that on my ephemera book. You could do the same to this little pocket and tag journal. Now, on these white cardstock pages, you could, of course, use craft, whatever color cardstock you want for the pages. You do not have to use white, and you will see that I did not ink those. I am not that good at inking white edges. It kind of looks messy to me, and since this was such a clean and simple project, I just decided not to ink my white edges. I might in the future go back and do that, but I just didn't on this one. So that is my pockets and tags journal made from the October E-Club kit. I hope you enjoyed this video and all of this process. I've had someone ask, could you please do one where you show everything? It would be over 3 hours, because usually it takes me a good 3.5 hours to make one journal. And I just really couldn't upload a 3-hour journal in good faith. I just could not do that to somebody. To my viewers, that would just be too long. And I've tried the part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 2 and 3 just don't really get any love. And part 1 gets the love, and then I get questions about how I finished it, and it's just hard to try and get part 1, 2, and 3 watched, all 3 watched, so it's not too confusing to anybody. So I hope that this has been clear to you as far as how it comes together. The decorating part, you know how to decorate. I don't have to show you all of that. And the part that took the longest, and usually every journal, the part that takes the longest is the inking of the edges and the cutting down of the papers to go where you want them to go. That is the longest part of it. That's why I didn't go through every bit of that with you, because I don't want to bore you to tears. But I hope that this was clearer than, say, mud. As far as how to assemble this clean and simple journal. It is not raggedy like a lot of my journals are, but I really like that. I like the clean and simple look to this. Give me a thumbs up and show me some hearts in the comments. I would love that. And y'all have a blessed day. I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much, everybody. I love ya. You are my people. Have a great day. God bless. Bye, y'all.